All right, guys. This thing started popping up with me, and I started to see several videos about this, and I kind of wanted to give my thoughts on this subject. And I don't remember so much this being something big. There's a Hail Satan at an opening prayer at Alaska government meeting that prompts a walkout, a protest. I didn't really hear about CNN, or I didn't hear the big networks really making a big thing out of this. And I kind of wanted to go deep into this subject because there are a lot of things that's happening um, with high elected officials, things that we may not be aware of, things that may be normal to them, such as certain rituals that we're not used to hearing about. You know, maybe things having to do with children. I have no idea. You know, blood rituals. Now there's Hail Satan crap, right? But this was back in 2019. There have been many people, when I bring up the subject about devil worshiping, Satan worshipers, things of that nature, people will kind of categorize that as fake news. You're making this thing up. You just have an agenda against them. Oh, you just hate all government officials. But there are headlines that have not really been blown up, but maybe they was forced to talk about it. So this actually made the news, you know? So let's read and let's see exactly what's going on, because if this was in 2019 and we don't see any other type of news about these type of rituals, this tells you that they're really good at keeping secrets. They're really great at worshiping Satan on the low. I mean, but let's get to this. Let's read up and let's see what's really going on here. What was this about? Several attendees at a government meeting open to the public in Alaska walked out in protest after an opening prayer praised Satan. Mm. The Associated Press reports the prayer, where a woman declared, "Hail Satan," right, was given by um, Satanic Temple member Iris Fontana, who won the right to open the meeting with an invocation of her choice. Now, a lot of people may not have heard this because this is not something that is done out in the open. Now, we know all evil things that's done in the dark will eventually come to light. But this is something that's probably been going on for a very long time that people kind of dubbed as this is a conspiracy theorist, right? Let me continue. Um, in quotes, that which will not bend must break, and that which can be destroyed by truth should never be spared as demise. It is done. Hail Satan is the quote that Fontana said to open the meeting, according to local radio station KSRM. The controversial prayer Tuesday night started the meeting of the Kenai Peninsula Borough and prompted several attendees to exit. A protest outside the borough's administration building ensued, drawing 40 or so people. Fontana was reportedly among one of the plaintiffs in a lawsuit litigated by the ACLU of Alaska against the borough after it approved a policy in 2016 to only allow people belonging to the official organization with an established presence on the Kenai Peninsula to give invocations at meetings. Last year, The Alaska Supreme Court ruled that the borough policy was unconstitutional, and the policy was changed to allow anyone to offer invocations regardless of affiliations. You know, now I'm looking at this. I mean, if you could see my skin, it got goosebumps. Are they saying worshiping Satan is sort of a religion? This is why I never said Christianity is a religion. I never said that, right? Whatever people want to believe religion to be, because at one point, there was a particular point in time where people could not worship Yahweh. If you were caught worshiping Yahweh and praising God and giving Jesus Christ glory, you were put to death. You were crucified. They used to burn Bible books, scriptures, and really do mean things to people that had that belief. This is why, let me see, later on in life, right, they said, okay, let's have freedom of religion. People had to think about that. Now, wait a minute. What do you mean by freedom of religion? People were happy, right? Because they could praise God, they could praise Yahweh in the open. But what happened is that it left the door open for people to claim what they were doing as religion, therefore giving them the freedom to invocations, to worship in whatever gods they want, and label it as a religion. So not only did people who worship Christ, Yahweh, have freedom to do so, so does people who worship Satan. And whatever perverted form, because Satanists, I don't care what anyone says, they are perverted. They are perverting what we call religion. That is not a religion. Satanist is not a religion. I'm telling you right now. It is warping the mind into making people really believe that, oh, Lucifer is a being of light. That's before he came down. But Lucifer, who was thrown out of heaven, was the same person who thought he was big and mighty and thought that he needed to be worshipped. And he's the one that turned his back on God because he thought he was God. So, yeah, there is a difference. There's Luciferians and there's Satanists. Again, we need to dive into the studies of these things and see what's really going on in this world. But I really found this to really be interesting. Now, I just want to look to see the ADN. This was in June 2019. Let's see. Satanists go to court seeking right to pray at city meetings. That's March 22nd, 2021. Those didn't make headlines. The Constitution of the United States. Satanists go to court seeking right to pray at city meetings. Because they labeling this as a religion. Christianity, the worship of Jesus Christ, is not a religion. How can I put this? It's a way of life. It is the only way There's a narrow path to Yahweh, and it is only through Jesus Christ. These people are screwing with us. Let me read. If thousands of Satanists have their way, the Arkansas state capitol will soon host a mythical winged goat idol. I remember this one. I remember this. A winged goat idol, not far from an existing 3-ton monument to the Ten Commandments. In Minnesota, they've sued to erect a statue they called overtly satanic, but tastefully so. In Arizona, they want to bless a city council meeting, as they say theists have done for years. Across the country, the Satanic Temple and IRS recognized atheist church. Like who does that? Atheists. Okay. Temples was built to worship Yahweh. Churches was built on the back of Peter. That is again to worship Christ. We built this temple to worship the Lord. So if you're an atheist, your business has nothing to do with the church. Again, they're only here to pervert this stuff. That's all they're here to do. Now, that's an oxymoron to anyone who understands wordplay. You do not have an atheist church. Oh, man. Okay. Across the country, the Satanic Temple and IRS recognized atheist church with some 300,000 devotees is waging a legal battle it says is for religious liberty, using tactics that have proved effective for Christian groups. The church, which preaches both empathy and the freedom to offend, has filed at least 7 lawsuits in as many states, challenging the limits on what qualifies as religious expressions. It says it's looking for equal treatment in the public square. Its opponents say it's just trolling Christianity and calling it a high-minded struggle for justice. Look at this. Do you see what I see? What the hell are we looking at? And I meant that. What the hell are we looking at? What has Satan done? Right now, again, maybe this is a troll-ish type thing, right? But what have they done to be deemed a religion? Although I think religions should not be included even with Christianity. But the point that I'm getting at, if you're trolling, what has Satan done to prove that it should be worshipped? What good is it to do this? Satan? Of all people, Satan? You sure? This is idiotic. Let's see. Lucian Greaves, who has co-founded the church in 2013, says he hopes the lawsuit will expand religious equality and free speech in a way that benefits all Americans, whether they approve of his faith or not. People get a laugh when they see us fighting to put a satanic monument on the same grounds as the Ten Commandments. Though whether we succeed or fail is not of minor importance, Greaves, who's 45, said in an interview. When Christians seek to put up monuments in public spaces, see, this is the bombshell right here. Christians should not be seeking to put up any monument. No statues of Jesus. No statues of what you think God looked like. No statues of the Ten Commandments. No statues of anything up in heaven, on earth, or anything below the sea. It says that, I believe, in the first commandment. Thou shalt not worship any statues or build up anything that is portrayed as a god. This is what I'm talking about. We got a lot of false Christianity going on here. This is why, like, to tell you this dude is right. If you're gonna have Christianity come and they want to erect a statue of, let's say, Jesus or whatever, then he has that same right. So we're going about it the wrong way. Sometimes I want to go back to where maybe they didn't even allow us to pray, right? Like, when you prayed and you got killed, that means you really gave your life to God. That means you really believe in praying to the Lord. But there's a little thing that I wanted to share with you. And with Twitter being owned by a new owner, I'm going to talk about this in another video. Free speech is back, right? How much back is it? We'll see. But anyway, I'm Slimmy V. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to think together. We're going to talk together. I am going to say things that's going to probably make you think. We're going to have this conversation. Comment below as to what you think about this. Did you really know what was going on with this? And do you believe that mainstream media sort of kind of wanted to keep it under the rug and not talk about it so much? Yes, they have it. You could see certain news, but this ain't blowing up like George Floyd. Put it that way. They're gonna talk about the news. They're gonna write certain pieces, but it's not blowing up like a George Floyd news. Okay, we need to see, because there's a lot of evil, sick-minded people that are Satanists in the government, and they are behind pushing certain laws. Stay tuned for more stuff as I dive in and just bring some of those stuff to light. Anyway, I'm Slimmy V. This is the most offensive podcast ever. God bless. Stress less and let Yahweh do the rest. I'm out. Peace.